So, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the YesSHECan project. I am delighted today to be joined by the gorgeous Maya. Hello, Maya.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. And I don't suppose anybody knows, but we've been trying to schedule this podcast recording for a few months now, and life seems to have got in the way, doesn't it? All for my part, by the way. Maya's perfect. She's been understanding. It's not your fault. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do, please.
Yeah, so I'm Maya. I'm based up in Aberdeen in Scotland. I'm 24 and I run a virtual assistant business called Planner BVA Services. So we provide mainly sustainable and ethical businesses with a lot of support around their digital marketing, so things like their social media, copywriting for website and blog content, email marketing, and then we also do bits of kind of exec VA services, so more your admin, your life management, your CRMs, your processes, all that fun stuff.
Wow. So May, you said you're only 24. That's such a young age to be like, honestly, you've achieved so much already. We'll get into that later. But was there any specific, what's the word? Was there any specific inspiration that kind of told you, this is the way that I want to go. I want to run my own business?
I don't know really. When I was younger, I always wanted to have my own business kind of when I was at secondary school. I used to sell Avon in my mum's name so I could practice running my own business. Yeah. Go and knock on people's doors. But neither of my parents run their own business. They both have more kind of traditional jobs. And certainly growing up, there weren't you didn't see lots of kind of young women running businesses, or I didn't really at school. It was still very much, you go to uni, you get a job. That was kind of the narrative. So I don't really know where I got the idea from that I was going to run my own business, but once I decided that was it, that was what I was going to do.
Is it like VA services? Is that something that you've always been interested in? Is there a particular time where you thought, do you know what, I'd really like to do this as a career?
So to be honest, I kind of fell into being a VA. So before I was a virtual assistant, I had a sustainable gifting business. So it was
cool.
Yeah, it's a completely different. It was selling gift boxes.
So you started even younger than 24.
So when I graduated from university, so I went to uni really because I knew I wanted to have my own business, but I had no idea what I was going to do. So I just thought, right, I'll go to uni, I'll have a blast. So I'll get a degree, I'll kind of tick that box, and then I'll come back to it. So then from that, I graduated and I started a sustainable gifting business. So they were gift boxes that were kind of filled with sustainable alternatives to everyday products. So it was things like your shampoo bars, your bamboo toothbrush, and refillable bamboo pens. And then from there, I was looking really just for a part-time job during COVID that I could do alongside the gifting business. And I just fell into being a virtual assistant for somebody that I'd met through running the other business. And then it was only really from there that I kind of thought, I've been learning all this marketing for my own business, and I'm really organized and I love planning and I'm actually quite good at this. Maybe I'll kind of make a go of it.
Yeah. Wow. So it was a real like organic process for you then?
Yeah. People just kind of saw me working kind of for this first client that I had and kind of reached out to me from there, and it kind of just grew from that. And then I thought, right, let's do this.
Oh, bless you. Well, the thing that you keep mentioning is not only in your VA business, but also with your sustainable business, the topic of sustainable and like eco-friendly and things like that keeps coming up. Is that like a personal passion of yours that kind of drove you in that direction?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I went to university, that was about the time of Blue Planet, and there was a lot about the sustainability movement, and I think I learned a lot more about it, whereas before I'd kind of just done what I'd always done. And my sister, she's younger than me, but she's always been really into sustainability a long time before me. So she's kind of been very influential there as well.
Well, I think even like obviously I'll put your website and stuff in the show notes, but even when you go on your website for the business, it's very nature, it's very clean, and you've got that kind of woven all the way through it. So I think you're instantly recognizable when it comes to, even if it was like an eco-friendly business that didn't know anything about you, as soon as they landed on your page, they would be able to see that you are for them. So like from a branding perspective, you've like totally nailed it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is. It's kind of been there right from the start, as I said, because we had this other business where that was what the core of it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of always been there before I started the virtual assistant side. And that was really important to me, that when I came into the virtual assistant side, those were the businesses that I was passionate about. So that was who I wanted to help.
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to a virtual assistant, like a lot of my listeners are female business owners anyway. What kind of like tasks can you take off their hands for them?
So it's a wide variety, really. So we do a lot of the marketing side. So we'll do social media, and we can do that from just scheduling posts. Sometimes people like to create the content themselves, and we'll schedule it, right through to kind of fully managing it. So we'll create all the content, we'll schedule it, we'll do engagement, and we'll kind of fully manage the profiles. And then kind of email marketing, again, that can be setting you up if you're moving platforms or you're getting set up for the first time, and creating your lead magnet, right the way through to kind of doing it on an ongoing basis. So doing your weekly emails, doing your automations. And then we do a lot of copywriting as well. So kind of website content, blogs, if you're launching something new and you want content for a sales page, and then kind of all kinds of admin that people have. So whether that's email admin, diary, if it's CRM, setting up processes and things. So a big range.
Gosh, it is. So essentially, the beauty of what you do, you're actually giving people the gift of time in a sense.
Yeah.
Which is what we all need.
By taking things off people that maybe they don't enjoy, or it's not their area of expertise, because what they want to focus on is service provision, or is on growing the business, or on all the other things that they started their business to do. That probably wasn't be on Instagram, or do the things that then can kind of fill our diaries. And it gets to the end of the day, and you've just kind of been ticking off all of these things that aren't really what you wanted to be doing.
And then I think sometimes when we're flooded with so many items and tasks to do, we can get to the end of the day, and although we've completed those, we don't feel like we've moved a step forward. So by having a VA and the wonderful work that you guys do, you're actually allowing female business owners to then move our businesses forward, instead of just feeling like we're on a hamster wheel in a way.
No, absolutely. And that's a huge part of it. And also, this is what we do. Like there's me, and then we have Sally, who does social media. She's really a specialist in that area. And we also have a copywriter who, again, really a specialist in that area. So it's saving you time, but it's also, this is what we do all day, every day. So we really are kind of experts in it. So you will then see those results, like as a result of that as well, see the benefit in terms of the results as well as this time.
Because it's not, because we might be able to do it ourselves, but if we're not experts in those particular fields, then yes, the task might get done, but it's not maybe going to see the results that we're really looking for. And that's why,
or it just might take longer.
Exactly. So you mentioned, Maya, that you've got a team already, which is incredible, and also you've recently been voted as one of the top 20, let me just make sure I get this right, top 20 most inspiring Scottish businesswomen. I mean, that must have been incredible when you found out.
It was amazing, but it was also a little bit like, you kind of look at the list and you're among all these amazing people. Somebody was on the list who runs Loganair, which is like Scotland's airline. And so I kind of thought, and it did bring up kind of a bit of, oh my goodness, I don't know if I should be on this list, a little old
bit of
me.
imposter syndrome.
Yeah, where it's just
Oh.
me doing my own little thing.
Mhm. But it's proof though, isn't it, really? I think to get that recognition from outside your own business, your own team, your own friends and family, I think it's just a mind-blowing thing to go through, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you find that
Even
that gave you the drive to, because it can be hard, can't it? I mean, I know that you take the tasks off female business owners anyway, but you're female business owners yourself. So it I think maybe sometimes we need that kind of injection of outside praise in order to keep us in the right mindset. Do you know what? I'm doing a good job. This is where I
yeah,
want to go. And it gives you that fuel again.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it also brought a little bit of pressure where I was like, oh my goodness,
Okay.
now I'm on this list. Almost I need to live up to it.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. How did it work for you in terms of, because like you talk a lot about marketing as well. I bet from a marketing perspective, I bet that was useful, like content in a sense that
Yeah.
you could then go and apply to your own marketing strategy.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it was in Scottish Business Insider, which is like quite a decent size and kind of reputable publication. So like
Yeah.
even now I do like I get people who reach out and say, "Oh, I saw you in this article back in
Oh,
whenever," and they've like just read it now.
yeah.
So it's
And
definitely it's
have you managed to get clients from that as well? Because I think it gives you that credibility too, doesn't it? I
yeah,
think that's what we
yeah,
all need, is that you're building that trust kind of quite quickly because
yeah.
you're being recognized in such an amazing way.
Yeah, massively, especially when you're outsourcing something, particularly if it's the first time you've done it, or if you're
Mhm.
like a solopreneur, you're just a woman running a business on your own, it can feel like a really big step to outsource something. So it's
Yeah.
like having that extra credibility,
Mhm.
definitely.
And I think as well, though, sometimes I think from a mindset point of view, it can be difficult to ask for that help because
Yeah,
it's almost like you're saying, oh, well, I can't do it all on my own. But that's not what this means. This means that you're actually in the best place because you're recognizing, okay, I want to concentrate my energy and my efforts on growing my business in this direction. So I
yeah,
need help to kind of do all the back end stuff that's really going to push it forward, because that's what's going to get the results as well, isn't it? Because
yeah,
you guys are coming at it from an expert point of view.
yeah, exactly, absolutely. And it's just almost having that confidence in yourself, I think, to
Yeah,
take it to that next level.
definitely. What would you say, Maya, has been your biggest challenge so far?
I think probably myself. In
Oh,
that, like, because I'm young and because I'm a woman, sometimes I go into things that I just, especially when I first started, I kind of, oh, people don't take me seriously.
mhm.
And I think I doubted myself a lot.
Yeah,
And I still have that to some extent, but kind of the more I've grown, it's something I've worked on a lot.
yeah,
Um, and that I shouldn't project onto other people that they're not going to take me seriously. Because actually, a lot of people see being young and being a woman as like a strength of,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
they assume that I know everything there is to know about anything that's technology, which isn't true. But
But I think with that though, it brings that energy and it brings that freshness, and
yeah,
I think that's a really good USP that you have, as well as your experience, obviously, in your field too. Is it,
yeah,
in fact, I was going to ask you, is a VA something that you used yourself, or is that one of the reasons why you set up your VA business, purely because you knew the tasks that you would have wanted help with at the time when you ran your sustainable gifting?
yeah. So I never had a VA, but yeah, everything that I've done is kind of from the point of view of I've been on the other side as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You wish you would have had one.
To make everything easier. Yes.
Exactly. Um, so equally, what has been your biggest highlight so far?
I think well, I went back to my old school at the start of the year,
Oh,
and like I did a little talk about start
oh,
setting up your own business and why that's like a good thing to do, and you don't just have to go to university and kind of get a
yeah.
traditional job. And I think even though that's not kind of one of the traditional markers of success, for
Mhm.
me, that kind of felt like, do you know what? When I was at school, I would have loved for somebody to come in and do a
Yeah.
talk like this. And not that many people from my year do run their own businesses. And it's something is important to me, getting the next generation of women to start their own businesses. It's such an amazing career path. So that was kind of like almost not full circle because I'm still only 24, but you know, that was nice of, wow, that was my dream. And like now I'm doing it and I'm coming back in to talk to people that would once have been me.
Oh, you think about how many people you could have inspired by doing that. And then like in a few years' time, you know, they might reach out to you and be like, it's because of you that I'm here today. It's because of you I started my own business. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I'd
Yes,
love to do more
I
of
would
that.
definitely say that totally measured success on that. Oh.
Yeah.
Bless you. So where do you see, like, say if you could wave a magic wand, where would you like to see your business in, say, 5 years' time?
So, I mean, the sustainability space is massive, kind of growing industry, and as the net zero targets kind of that the government are setting on kind of a legislative level get nearer and nearer, it's only going to grow as an industry, and more businesses are going to have to comply. So I think there's really a huge opportunity there, and I would love for us to become kind of the go-to virtual assistant business, kind of service provider within that space, because it's such a new industry as well, so that it's not like kind of more traditional industries where there might already be, you know, established brands operating within that space.
It's almost like it's a level playing field at the moment, isn't it?
So I feel like the race is on.
Don't be the tortoise, be the hare. Oh no, because the tortoise wins in the end.
Oh yeah. I'll be the tortoise.
So would you ever like, is there any way that you could expand your like service offering, do you think? Would that be something that you would look at?
Yeah, I think kind of as we grow, I'd love to kind of bring more people into the team who have different skill sets, because really I would like it to be, you know, more of a one-stop shop so that we can deliver a range of services, and an even greater range than we do now for the businesses that we work with, so that they're not having to work with, you know, different companies and different freelancers for all different parts of their business, so they can kind of have one strategy and one point of contact, really.
Because that'd be amazing if you could have, like, if your agency could be like, so they could do the VA stuff, but then they could also do like web design, and then they could also do like shop integrations, or say if someone wanted to be on like all the Amazon platforms, all the marketplaces, you could get doing that. That would be great, because then you see it's all about ease when it comes to running your own business. All you want is that ease of time. You want that ease of not having to worry about it if you're not skilled or proficient in that particular area. So if you can offer women, like you say, a one-stop shop, and everything is done, when it's under one roof and it's under one price, it's so much easier, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Mate, can people come to you? Is it like a full package service, or can they, if they want, like, I need some help with my social media, can you just do that, or does it have to be like?
No, absolutely, we can do either. So we can do just your social media, or we can do part of a wider campaign, and we also do a mixture in terms of, so we'll do some project work, so we might do your social media for a specific campaign, or we might set up your email marketing, and then kind of hand it over to you, or it can be on an ongoing basis. So we do
so it's totally tailored to the individual.
Exactly.
Brilliant. So say, Maya, if somebody said to you, what would be your ultimate dream? I know that you want to grow the business, you want to be like the go-to. If like money was no object, if nothing was any object, and you could get somewhere right now, where would you want it to be?
Well, I would also love for us to be net zero as a business, and to be a B Corp. That's definitely kind of a long-term goal, and something that I definitely want to pursue. And kind of both of those. At the moment, it's difficult because we're a small business and net zero is so new that a lot of the information around net zero at the moment is much more tailored to big corporations and businesses. So it's a journey we're on. But there's been a lot of learning and a lot of kind of trial and error involved. But that's
so
definitely.
For anyone who doesn't know, what does net zero mean?
So it basically means that in total, you're not generating any emissions. So the process for that would be kind of to calculate your current footprint, and then to look at reducing. So how can you switch energy providers, switch to green energy? If you had a premise, it would be things about commute, all kinds of things. And also it then brings in kind of the suppliers and the people that you work with. So it does get quite complicated.
Oh gosh, so it even goes like beyond the chain of that.
Yes. And so it's about reducing as much as you can. And that's really important to do the reducing, and then to offset anything that you can't reduce. But because it affects kind of the businesses in the supply chain, as the bigger businesses are moving towards being net zero, they then want the businesses that they work with to also be net zero.
Make it easier that way, so they don't have to go back. So say, for example, you had like, I don't know, a planner, like a physical planner. Would you have to then make sure that the people who sold you the planner or made the planner for you, would you have to make sure that they're as net zero as possible in order to get your net zero status?
Yeah, so if you were a product business, it would take into account the emissions of where you're buying the product from, the emissions of getting it shipped to you, then shipping it out. So yeah, it is quite a complicated process of working it out.
Isn't it? It's like an investigative thing.
Yeah. But it will, as more and more people move to be net zero or start that journey of kind of working in that direction, it should become easier, because everybody will have more of that data to hand. So the people in your supply chain will have it more to hand as well.
And then will it become a legislation, do you think, for people to have to produce that information in order to kind of conduct business anyway?
Yeah, so at the moment, I forget when the deadline is, but for businesses over a certain level, I mean, the huge corporations, by a certain date, they have to be achieving and hitting the net zero targets.
Gosh, it's really interesting. I had no idea.
And I think gradually that will then filter down, so the threshold will get lower and lower and lower. Well, hopefully.
Gosh. So with your B Corp as well, is there no way that you could, I mean, I maybe should have saved this for after the podcast is finished, but is there no way that you could apply now? Because B Corp essentially just means that you're a company that's for good, if that makes sense. And I think your company values are really intertwined with doing good.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you can apply. There's B Corp pending, which is for startups, I think, that are within a year of starting. And then for B Corp, I think you can apply at any time, but there's almost like a checklist of things that you kind of need to be hitting or working towards. So we're kind of working through that checklist first, so that we're in a good position when we apply, basically.
Wow. God, you're so organized. You can tell what you do for a living. It's all about the checklists and the ticks and the gosh. Would you say though that I suppose it's a bit of an unfair question. I was going to say, would you say that you take the same organization when it comes to your own business that you do with other people's businesses? Because I would imagine you're so focused on doing well for the client. I bet it's really difficult to do the same for your own business, isn't it?
It is, definitely. And it can be more kind of all or nothing with my own business. So like for the clients, we'll maintain that level of organization kind of always. Whereas with my business, it might be that, we're a bit quieter this week, so I'll bring everything up to date. And then from the last couple of weeks where maybe the organization has slipped a little bit in the planning, so it can be a little bit more sporadic and based on when we have the time. But I do like it. I do like a plan, and that helps me to feel like I'm in control. You can tell and not overwhelmed.
Definitely. So is it just businesses in the UK that you work with, or do you work with businesses worldwide?
At the moment, it's businesses in the UK, and we've worked with a couple in Ireland as well. But yeah, mainly UK at the moment.
Would you like to expand?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially because
But
it's like it's a virtual thing, isn't it? So
yeah,
there's no reason why you couldn't be helping businesses, across the pond and across the world.
yeah, no, absolutely. At the moment, we get a lot of our clients from referrals.
Yeah,
So then, because at the moment a lot of our clients are UK based, when they refer, it's generally to
it'll
other
be another
UK based
UK.
businesses. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, it's been absolutely wonderful to talk to you, Maya. Can you let the listeners know how they can find out more about your services, and whereabouts they can find you?
Yeah, so it is just plannerbva.co.uk is our website, and then it's plannerbva on Instagram, on Facebook, and Maya Vertigans on LinkedIn. I am the only Maya Vertigans. You will definitely find me.
The one and only.
Yes, oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, well, it's been lovely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
Oh, thank you.